Why is pricing photography so hard? One of the biggest questions that I get asked by either my one-to-one clients, my sort of ad hoc business calls is, how much do I charge? Why do I charge this much? What's a good price? What should I be charging? Go into any Facebook group to do with sort of professional photography, and you'll see people going, well, how much should I be charging for these product shots? What should I charge? And everybody is confused, and rightfully so, and it is for a good reason. If you work in catering, there are very specific percentage markups that people expect to pay. Of course, you can go higher or lower, but there's sort of like an understanding that you'll sell to the business at this amount and they'll add this percentage on top. That's the way it is. In computing, it'll be the same, and in phones, it'll be the same. Yes, there's a fee for innovation and all the rest of it, but it's all quite stipulated. There's real expectation on that. And photography doesn't have that, and here's why. If we have 3 photographers, the chances of them taking the same photograph in the same way at the same quality is pretty much 0. So we come into a problem as photographers that we are creatives, and there are so many other things that dictate how much we charge. Now, sometimes it might seem like the day rate's plucked out of the air, but it's not. There are factors that we sort of work around. I'm going to discuss those with you throughout this video to help you either justify in your own head your price or help you find your price. Now, this is coming from a commercial photography standpoint and point of view, but you can sort of, roam off and do it into your own sectors, I am sure. If it doesn't work, do let me know in the comments below. But as a commercial photographer, the first thing we have is our day rate, and that's our labor fee. We then have our production costs, and that's our digital tech, assistants, lunch, all of that sort of stuff. That's a separate fee, camera kit, studio usage, all that sort of, logistical fee. And then we have our usage. Now, the usage is kind of a multiplication of our day rate. So that's kind of standardized, apart from the day rate being different. And we always go off the AOP. I'll put a link in the description to the AOP. Go and join them. They're great people. But yes, we have a day rate, and the day rate is where the variation comes in. Now, say I charge £1,000 a day, because I can only do maths with £1,000 a day, and someone else charges £500 a day. We could be of different levels, with me being better than them, the same level, or them being better than me. And this is where the confusion comes in with pricing. It's like, well, why are they charging this much if they're better than you and you're charging that much? Are they undercharging? Are you overcharging? How is it working? And you're right to be confused, because we generally are. But there are a few factors that sort of build that day rate for us. And the first of which is, what is the expected fee? And you can charge the expected fee. Say the industry is expecting to pay £1,000 a day. You can go, right, I'll charge £1,000 a day, but then you have to also have the quality of work to get that £1,000 a day. Now, if you're in the family portrait world, there's far more scope. There's families who'll pay tens of thousands and families who'll only pay 10. And that's a huge range in there. In the commercial world, it's similar, but also at certain levels of quality and certain levels of sort of advertising budget, they expect to spend a certain amount. And it is quite regimented. There's not a great deal of fluctuation in day rates. My day rate is very similar to most other photographers in my genre. And, we all sort of sit in around the same place, because we understand that that is the ceiling for what these clients can pay for what we do. We then have to work our business plan out beneath that. So, for example, say the ceiling is £1,000, I charge £1,000. I need to then make sure that my business can make profit from that £1,000. Now, of course, we have the license fee on top, but let's ignore that for now, because it really complicates my maths and I'm not that bright. But we've got £1,000. If my business expenses are £500 and I've got a £500 profit margin there. Now, the next person might have their business expenses at 90%. And they've only got a £100 profit margin there. And someone else might have them at 20% and they've got an 80% profit margin. So that's kind of where the earning differences can come in. Now, as well as that, we also have the quality of work. If all 3 of us come in at the same quality of work, it's very hard for them to choose. But if one of us has better quality of work, but a lower percentage of profit, they might get more work and therefore make the same money as someone with a lower quality of work getting fewer jobs, but with a higher profit margin. It is a very fine balancing act. It's also one of the reasons why most pros don't own the latest and greatest cameras, and that's sort of reserved for hobbyists and semi-pros who've got baseline income coming in. So why is it so tough? And I think it comes down to confidence. And I'm very confident in what I charge. I don't charge £1,000 a day, I charge a different figure than that. But when I was charging £1,000 a day, I was less confident than I am now. And the reason I'm confident now is because I know that the clients I'm working for, I have the quality and level of work that they expect. And also, I am charging a fee that they expect, and I build my business beneath that. And I think it's a far better way to go about things. A lot of people talk about, building your cost and then working out how much to charge. The problem with that is your number could just be coming in either too low and people won't be interested in you because they think it's too cheap, or be coming in too high for those clients, and the clients that it isn't too high for, you're either on the low end of it and your work's not very good, or you're matching other photographers and your work isn't good enough. So I think the best way to work out your pricing structure is to find out, what are the budgets around this? What are the budgets that people have for the type of work you're producing? Then look at, is my work good enough for that yet? If not, you might have to come down a little bit, but if it is, then that's great. And then you build your business costings in below that. Now, say you charge £1,000 a day and you get 10, no, that's not going to work out, is it? 30 days work here, it's £30,000. And you lose half of that, so you've only got £15,000 profit. Buying the latest EOS mirrorless camera isn't going to help you there. You need to reduce those overheads so you've got more profit coming in. That is the general confusion in photography, and it's all because our industry doesn't work like others. We're selling ourselves, we're selling our art. And because of that, it's really tricky, because no one wants to go, oh yeah, I'm worth 20,000 a day, because it sounds big-headed and arrogant. And that's one of the reasons why we have agents, so they can say that for us and have those awkward conversations. But it is so important to understand that there are, one, ceilings at which a certain level of client is willing to pay. Two, your overheads are your responsibility. If you go too low, you might not be able to produce the right quality of work. If you go too high, then you might not be able to make the right amount of money. And I think the final thing to remember is that you can always change your prices as you move along. I went through a phase where I continually doubled my price until I started getting the right clients. Obviously, I had to wait for my work to get to that level as well. But there's a lot of trial and error in this. And if you make a mistake once, don't worry, there are more clients and you can try again with the next one. I hope this has been of use to you. If you're interested in this business side of photography and the commercial side of photography, do hit subscribe, because I'm going to be putting so much more content out about this, and hopefully it can help everyone else, because I'm a self-taught photographer myself, and it took me a good 6 years to work out what on earth was going on, because I just couldn't find the information I needed. So I'm trying to do a brain dump of that onto the internet to hopefully help others. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.